Hello, everyone. 2 years ago, I joined the AI team of Kaizen Gaming, and I had a problem to solve. You know, there was a lot of hype around AI and knowledge. Plenty of models, plenty of ideas, but there was no clear sense of what success looked like from product perspective. So the real question became, what makes an AI solution a real product? In order to answer this question, I'll start with a bold statement that I'm sure you are all familiar with. 85% of machine learning projects never make it to production. But that's old news, right? I mean, back in these days, a lot of companies would reach out to academia in order to bring this knowledge to their teams. Also, as you know, machine learning needs relevant and structured data in order to learn. But most companies didn't collect this data or store it in an accessible format. Also, noisy data made sometimes models look good into personal notebooks, but failed in production. You know, garbage in, garbage out. Even with a trained model, sometimes teams didn't know how to deploy, retrain, monitor. Everything was manual and undocumented. And last but not least, physical servers were needed, so companies lacked scalable compute. Now we've solved all these problems, right? I mean, AI talent has matured. MLOps has become a formal discipline. You can now run GPU-heavy training jobs or deploy at scale without counting on physical servers. So today, we know how to build models. The hard part is defining what a good AI product actually is. An AI product is an actual product, right? With a technical core, but it's driven also by the user needs and business impact. So let me take you back to last year when my team hit this exact wall. So we had to define the real problem we were solving and what success would look like for our casino recommender system. They ask. In our case, the casino product manager had an idea. He reached out with a request to add a new section in the casino lobby, call it Because You Played, and recommend similar games to the one that the user is currently playing. You know, like Netflix has Because You Watched. But there is a problem with that. First of all, the casino lobby already features 25 sections across markets. Also, we have around 35K games. So, did we really need one more section? Also, Netflix is different than casino. I mean, in Netflix, you log in to chill, to browse new movies, etc. In casino, the players log in with intention and strategy. And last but not least, the most important, when we say Because You Played to recommend similar games, what does even similar mean? I mean, similar to what? Similar to the theme, to the game that you are currently playing? Similar to the music, maybe, to the title keyword? So the request sounded simple and fancy, but what counts as similar was never defined. And this is exactly the definition of an open-ended problem. So an open-ended problem is a vague request with no goal, no defined solution, and no agreed success metric. This made us wonder, what makes a good recommendation? Because you see, let's say that we have this cute game. This game, the Doghouse Megaways, can lead to many different ideas of what to recommend next. And none of them are wrong. I mean, for example, you can have this game because it has the same characters. Or you can have this game because they have both the same math profile. We could recommend this because they are both from the same game provider. This one because it's frequently co-played, or this one because similar players usually play it. The first three are game similarities. The last two are called user similarities. And we could have hundreds of different types of similarities. So this is exactly what makes the problem open-ended. The answer to the problem was explainability. And why explainability matters? I went back to the team, and we knew exactly why it matters. You see, on the one hand, from the AI perspective, explainable recommendations aim to make AI decisions understandable. They are answering the why an item is recommended in order to build trust, transparency, and better user choices. From the other hand, from the behavioral perspective, in product design, we know that transparency builds trust. Also, behavioral psychology shows that explanations improve user confidence and engagement. So at the end of the day, for the players, knowing why a game is suggested, it gives them a reason to explore, not just click. So explainability isn't just good AI, you see, it's good product thinking. And here you see the user experience. So you click on the game. On the right hand, you will find For You page. There is, because you played section with the 10 similar games to the one that you are currently playing. Also, there is the info icon on the top right of the screen, which explains exactly why you see these recommendations. Great, right? I know. So, to set up for success, we needed first to educate the organization on the explainable recommendations, what they actually are, why they matter, and why they solve our open-ended problem. So we set clear expectations with the casino product manager around what success would look like. In our case, the North Star metric was the conversion rate from game launch to spin. Spoiler alert, we hit our goals. Today, explainable recommendations are one of our AI product success stories at Kaizen. So to wrap up, what we did, basically, we didn't reinvent the wheel. We simply followed what an AI product lifecycle should look like. First things first, problem definition and opportunity assessment. We transformed the technology into a problem for the business. I'm sure that you've all heard, let's build a chatbot. In our case, it was, let's add one more section because you played. The problem was, the real problem for the users was that they couldn't understand the recommendations. We knew that from the user surveys, from our metrics. The next step is to assess the impact and set the right metrics. Impact defines what you build, and it comes first. So statements like, let's target click-through rate because it's casino main objective are not enough. You need to align the KPI with the user behavior and link it to the target KPI. And also, the most important step, the education of the organization. You can't align on the impact if you don't speak the same language. Because black boxes create friction. And as product managers, we are here to explain the why, from the stakeholder input to the scientific foundation. Another important step is the build of the solution. But during the build, everyone should know the objective. From the data scientist and the ML engineer to the head of the team should know the objective. Because at the end of the day, we don't build models, we build outcomes. So what we did, we translated this vague ask into a live measurable feature. My favorite, last but not least. Test, measure, and learn. You can't improve what you didn't define. So in my career, I've heard a lot that we don't have time for testing, just ship it. No, it's not acceptable, especially for machine learning products. You need to set clear KPIs and to have a proper A/B testing strategy plan in order to know what worked and what didn't. And this is your recipe to success. Thank you.